Hi, so this is the Konica Minolta CR20. This video will be showing you how to use this equipment. So when you unbox the equipment, you will receive the CR20 in a soft case. You will also receive a white calibration plate. Perhaps the one that you receive will have a cap. I don't have a cap with me. You will also receive a USB cable such as like this, okay, to connect it with the computer for the software later on. Okay. So let's begin with the CR20. So in the soft case packaging, you will get the equipment, okay, and this is a protection cap for the measurement area. Okay. So let me walk through on the equipment first. So right at the back here, you have the power button over here, okay, followed by a place to put external power, and it can also be powered by the USB cable. Apart from that, in the package, I think there is 4 AA batteries in it, so you could open up this compartment here and put 4 AA batteries for operation purpose. So if you are using the batteries, then do not use the USB power, and if you are using the USB power at the end, do not use the batteries. Okay, this USB power does not charge up the batteries if you are using a rechargeable battery. Okay. In terms of the battery usage, you could use a standard normal battery, such as this kind of normal alkaline batteries, or you could even get those rechargeable batteries which you have to use the external charger to charge it. That's not an issue. Okay. In the front here, when you take out the protection cap, this is where the measurement area will be. I'll show you that in a second. And on this side over here, this solo single button over here, it's where you will do the measurement. Okay. And at the front, there's a couple of buttons which I'll go through in this tutorial. Okay. So I'll go about how we use the equipment. Okay. So first and foremost, we need to put either the battery or USB power. For this purpose, I'll be using the USB power. So let me get it connected. So if I'm using the USB power, there's one, this one here has the USB symbol. You just open it up and connect the USB power inside. Okay, done. Okay, so regardless whether you're using USB cable or you're using a battery, when you want to turn off the equipment, you have to click this power sign, long press the power button until you hear the beep ting. Okay, so once the power is on, you will see the display that says perform white calibration. Okay, so once you see this, all you have to do is, if there's a cap here, please remove the cap, okay, and place the equipment onto the cap, just like this. Okay, so if you notice the front of the equipment, there's 2 flat edges here. These 2 flat edges will line up with this in this manner. Okay, so since this is has bit springy, so for calibration procedure, when it shows perform white calibration, I would put this on the table, place this on top here like this, and press the calibration button 1 time. Okay, so you will hear 2 beeps. So when you press the button, you will hear the first beep, that's taken the measurement, and then when you hear the long beep of that, measurement is taken. Okay, I will repeat the process again with the equipment facing the camera so that you can see better. Okay, I'll turn off the equipment first. I'll switch it on once more. It says here perform white calibration. I'm going to place the white calibration plate here. I'm going to press this button once. It says now calibrating, and then you hear a long beep. Okay, so once a long beep and the display starts showing you LAB, then we are beginning to take measurements. Okay, so before I conduct any measurements, I will go run through what LAB is about to be able to grasp the units that this equipment would measure. So this color graph, which I will send you a link to this image or this material which I am using. This is the LAB color space. This LAB color space was not created by Konica Minolta. It was created by a body called CRE, which is a generally well accepted units for color measurement. Okay, so to understand the LAB color space based on this graph, I hope it's clear through the video. Okay, you have a section over here. So the top of the graph, you will see there is a word called L star, which means white. Okay, and at the bottom there's black. Okay, so what does that mean is in LAB, the L is a lightness scale from 100 to 0, whereby if the measurement value was, if the color is very bright, the L would be closer to 100, and the color was very dark, the L would be closer to 0. Okay, so to illustrate this, I would measure the white plate. So based on the white plate, okay, if I were to take a measurement of the white plate, okay, we will see that the reading of the white plate will be 90 over. So for this purpose it was 94.7. I hope the camera focuses on this. Okay, and if I were to measure something very dark in that manner, so let me get a dark sample. Okay, I do not have something dark. I don't have something black with me over here, but let me just use a dark color shade. Okay, so for instance, if I were to use a dark color shade of this color and take a measurement, the L value reads 27.7. Okay, since this color is not really black color, you would not actually see something which is 0. But this was to provide an understanding that a light color which is visually light to us, you will see the value becoming high, closer to 100, whereas dark color would be closer to 0. Okay, back to the color scale. So that is the explanation for L star value, or some people call it L. For the A and B value, since this graph is in a sphere, it's very difficult to imagine how the A and B values would act. So the next image I'm going to show you is basically a cross section. So if we cut the sphere into half and look at it as a circle, this would be it. So I'm going to enlarge it a bit. Okay. So on this one, you will see that we have A value which is running across this way, and B value which is going vertical. So the A value represents either red color or green color, just by noting whether it's A positive or A negative. Okay. Similarly, B value, if the B was positive, it's yellow, and the B is negative, it's blue. I understand it's a bit difficult to grasp so quickly on this, but basically for A and B value, this graph or this color chart would be a very good indication for you to understand when you take measurement. So for example, if the color was red color, the A would be positive. If the color was green color, the A would be negative. Similarly, if the color was yellow, you will get a reading in B positive, and if the color was blue, it would be B negative. So to illustrate it better, I have a couple of color samples here. So I will take a measurement of a yellow color, and I would choose a bright yellow. Okay, so I will take the equipment. So how to use this equipment is very simple. You have a color chart over here. You will place the equipment on the color that you want to measure. I will show the same example on a glove measurement for it to be a more relatable example. And once it's on the sample, just click the measure button. Okay. So when you click the measure button, you will hear a beep. That beep indicates the measurement has been taken and the results are out. Okay. So if you notice from this, the L is about 83, so it's a bright color. Okay. The A is positive 13, which says that this yellow color has a tinge of red color in it, and the B is positive 79, which says it's yellow color. Okay. On the other hand, if I were to measure a blue color, and this time I'll choose a dark blue shade, maybe I'll measure this one. Okay. I'll place it on the color, press the measurement button once to take measurement. You hear the beep, means the measurement has been conducted. So if we look at the values, the L value is 34, which indicates it's a dark color. The way a general rule of thumb is that if the color visually looks dark, the L value should be below 50, and if visually you assess the color to be light, the L value should be above 50. So visually my assessment of this color is a dark color, so the L value of 34 indicates that it's less than 50. Okay. Apart from that, if I look at the A and B values, the A indicates negative 9.3, which based on this color chart again, a negative A value would be showing green color. It means this blue had some content of green, and the B value also says that the value was negative 22, which means that this was a bluish green color. So based on the reference of this color chart and the readings here, it will be easy to understand that based on L value whether it was light color or dark color, based on A and B value to actually find out whether the color had red content, blue content, yellow content or green content. Okay. So I hope this is clear. If this is not clear, maybe you can contact me and then I can discuss further on this. So I will go on to the application of this unit. So for the rest of the video, I will actually use a glove sample to measure, since it's more relatable. So do forgive me that I don't have a very good glove sample for this, but what I have is a light blue glove. So for the operation of glove measurement on a day-to-day basis, what will happen is that the procedure would be like to either put a battery in or use the USB cable and turn on the equipment. When it prompts for white calibration, we conduct the white calibration. Okay, and wait for it to be done. Okay, the long beep indicates the white calibration is done. Okay. So for glove color measurement, okay, while you could measure the glove directly this manner, the problem with some gloves is that it's slightly transparent, okay, and due to the slight transparency and you put it on the table, you can actually see the color of the table at the back. So this would actually have an issue that the equipment will also measure the color of the table. So basically the whatever color that we can see, so if we put the glove on a black table or yellow table for instance, and we see that there's slight yellowness coming through the glove due to the effect of the table, the equipment will pick it up. So a good practice for glove measurement is normally they will measure the palm area and we will fold the glove. Okay, so either you fold it once like this, I'll just show it again. Either we fold it one time and measure the palm, or at this level, if you still find it that the glove is a bit transparent, we can do another fold. Okay, this is a common practice in the glove industry. Okay, and also when we are measuring gloves, try not to have creases or wrinkle lines. Normally with a fresh piece of glove you do not have this issue, but mine has not been kept well. So you will fold the gloves, okay, and take the equipment, place it onto the glove, place it onto the glove, my mistake. Place it onto the glove like this, hold it with one hand and press the measure button. Okay. Or you could also do it in this manner by just a one-handed mode and take measurement, and this will obtain the reading of the glove. Okay. So again, I'm going to run through the LAB again for this color glove. This is a light blue glove, hence the L value stays, the L value is above 50. For this it says 66.8, I believe. Okay. As for the A value, the A indicates this is negative 22.5 and the B value indicates negative 26.7, I believe. So what is meant by, based on this color graph, again I'll open it up. Based on this color chart, it says that since the A value is negative, this glove had green content in it, and the B value was negative, it was blue, so this is a bluish green glove. If you were to measure a glove that was slightly purplish or magenta, you will see that the B value will be negative, which indicate blue, but the A value would be positive instead, indicating there's a red content, showing that somewhat of a purple tinge on the glove. So generally, just based on the LAB value, you'll be able to track the color shift of the glove, and you could use this to monitor. So basically, these values, instead, I've been only talking about positive and negative values all the while, but this value of 22.5 indicates the intensity of the A content, or in this case intensity of the green, and this B value of negative 26.7 indicates the intensity of blue color. Okay, so since I have two pairs of gloves, one left and one right, I will measure the next glove in the same manner. Okay, so sorry. Okay. So this glove has almost similar values. The L value is 66.7, the A value is negative 22.6, and the B value is negative 26.3. So it's pretty similar from the previous sample. Okay. So some additional features that are here is that I've only shown you about this measurement button and viewing these results. What you have additionally is 4 more buttons over here. Okay. So the up and down button on this display of measurement data will show you different color units. So this is LAB, this is whiteness, tint and yellowness index. This is another type of color units. So you have many different color units depending on which units are you adhering to. So if by any chance you would have clicked this button, you can always scroll up and down again to get back to LAB again. Okay. This button is an average function button. So the purpose of it is that instead of measuring 5 different samples and manually calculating the average, the equipment is able to measure 5 measurements, 5 separate measurements, and by pressing average, average now, currently if you see here it's written 003. So when I click average, it will be the average of the last 3 measurements that I've made. So when I click average, I will get another measurement says AVG, or AVG 003, and this is the average of 3 measurements. Okay. So and I go through the last button here is the menu button. So by clicking the menu button, we have a couple of options. You may notice that options here may be a bit more or bit less than the options that you have. So if any options that is not here, not displayed here, please let me know, then I can show you how to unlock these options. Okay. So the first one you have is back, to go back to the previous screen. The second is undo. This is to undo the average that was conducted. The third one here is average reset. So basically, if you are doing average measurement, and you're doing every 5 gloves 1 average, then the next set of 5 gloves 1 average. So after you measure the first 5 and click the average button, you actually have to go to the menu and reset the average again, so that the equipment will know that the first average has been taken and the next measurement is going to start a new batch to measure. Okay. The fourth one that you'll see here is browse data. So when you want to enter, you have to click back the menu button again. So this will actually channel back the data. So I have 59 data in the list. So when I go down the list, I'll go down to 58 over 59, so on and so forth. I can actually channel through all the data that I measured, and then there will be indication of the date and time that this has been taken. Okay. Okay, the next is a language selection, followed by mask setting. The language selection has been default to English. The mask setting do not have to change because for a different model there was another attachment of this, but for CR20 it's only one mask setting, so this is not a useful function. There's an auto off function here, which by default it's set to no auto off, but you could actually set it to 10 minutes to auto off, 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Okay, this would be useful that especially if you're running on battery. For example, you don't want it to be like left turned on and then after you come back, you left it turned on and forgot to switch it off, and then after you come back that the battery is completely depleted. Okay, then you have a date and time setting, and the last is USB connect. I will not be covering the USB connect now. I will be covering it in a separate video and how I show you on the software. So some of the the amount of settings I have here may not be the same as the settings you have on your equipment, because some of these settings have to be unlocked using the software that comes with this equipment. I will cover that operation in a separate video on this. Go back. So let me recap again. The method of using this equipment is pretty simple. Put battery or USB cable. Please note that this USB cable I'm connecting it with my PC. Okay. Put the USB cable or battery, power on the equipment, perform the white calibration, that's the third step, and the fourth step is to measure the glove. So it's a pretty simple usage, nothing much to it. As for some maintenance or care, try not to drop the equipment. Though this equipment is a handheld, slightly portable, but try not to drop it, because dropping it may damage the equipment. Also, for the white calibration plate, once you are done using it, please keep it covered, because any scratch, any dirt accumulated to this may affect the calibration. If it was slightly dirty, you could use a microfiber cloth to clean it. Microfiber cloth is similar to the cloth they give with the spectacles or the sunglasses. Okay, try not to use tissue paper, because tissue paper is a bit adhesive. Okay, and so for storage purpose, keeping it like this is not it's not so steady. So normally we would keep it in this manner, and when we are not using it, we will cover it with a plate. Okay. Cover it with a protection cover. Also note that this area here is protected with glass, so that doesn't allow any dust to actually go into the sensor. In that way, the equipment is a bit protected from the elements. So I hope I covered most of it with this video. If there's any questions, please let me know and we can move on from there. Okay, thank you.